So welcome everybody. So we start in the same way as usual with the guided meditation and enlightenment activation. I think you all know by now what it means. I don't need to go through it. And if you want to have the enlightenment activation, you need to have the video on. Okay, thank you very much. So, just landing on this spot, landing on this place we are now. In this moment, which is what it is. Just allowing this moment to be exactly as it is. We're not pushing away anything. Not have any opinions that this meditation should be in a certain way. We're not interested in anything specific. We're not following any thoughts. If thoughts are coming, they are coming. They are also allowed to be here as everything else. We don't push away thoughts. But we're not interested in them either. And they can be here. They're usually subsiding after some time. Or can be there in the background. It's the same with emotions. We don't try to fix any emotions or to push them away. It shouldn't be here. No, we just allow everything to be exactly as it is in this moment, including emotions, body sensations, other phenomena of the body, or seeing lights or whatever images from the past or whatever it is. Everything is allowed to be exactly as it is in this moment. Not interested in anything specific and doing absolutely nothing. And the activation will start soon here. You can keep your eyes closed, still in meditation. We're going to make a little experiment here, but keep your eyes closed and be there in the meditation. In this state you are now, in this state of just being, state of just being here, state of just pure being. I will ask you to investigate it a little bit and to see, can you find any personal doer there? Can you find any personal me who wants to do something there? Who can do something? Take a look. Can you find anyone who decides things, who makes choices? Can you find any me who is making choices in this state of pure being? Can you find anyone who wants to control things in this being? Can you find anyone who wants to control things in this pure state of being that you are now? And last, can you find any kind of personal me in this pure state of being? Can you find a me who is protesting against this moment? Take a look. Can I find any protesting me here who wants this moment to be different from what it is? Can I find any personal me who is worried about the future? Is concerned about the future? Can I find that kind of me here? And can I find any negative thoughts about this me? I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of happiness. Can you find that kind of thoughts about some kind of person here? So in short, can you find any kind of a personal me in this pure state of being? We can take 1 or 2 minutes to come out of meditation. So if you can see in this state of just being, just existing, just being present, just being here, being aware, so to speak. If you can see that you couldn't find any kind of me form there, that you couldn't find any personal doer, or any decider, or any controller, or any thinker, and has no worry about the future me, and not any me who wants to improve the present moment, protesting. You couldn't find any me who's not good enough. If you could see this, or some part of it, well, it's a little bit strange. Because when you come out of meditation and we finish this Zoom meeting, and this, the mind will grab attention. And all these me forms will arise again in most of us. Not all of us, but most of us. I have to fix my life. This moment must be improved. Worries about the future. I'm not worthy of happiness. I'm having power to create thoughts. I have power to make decisions. I have power to control. This is a thinking. And if you could see in the pure state of being that maybe you're still there, if you can see that this is totally opposite, totally opposite. So what should you trust then? What should we trust? Should we trust what we see when we are silent in this pure state of just being here, existing? I exist, I live. Should we trust what we see there? Or should we trust the thinking, which says the opposite? Should we trust what we observe and find? Or should we trust what we think is the case? Usually, when thinking and observation is colliding, they are going opposite each other, we usually trust observation more. The earth is flat, says the thinking, but the observation from above shows that the earth is round. Oh, the thinking is right here. Thinking is right. This observation is wrong. We usually don't go there. When the timetable for the bus is say the bus is going for 14:45, and the thinking says it goes 14:46. What do we trust? We usually trust what we actually see, what we can investigate and find, and not what we think is the case. So if you don't find any personal doer, thinker, decider, controller, and everything else that we talked about now, if you can't find it in the pure state of just living, existing, why should we believe the thinking which says the opposite? Somehow we have to make a choice here, so to speak. Should we believe what I observe and find what I'm observing? Or should I believe my thinking, which has been planted there since I was 2 years old? When Copernicus saw that the earth is round, he was the only one on earth who made observation and find out that the earth is round. He was the only one on earth. Everyone else on earth, millions of people, believe the thinking which says earth is flat. You can just look out the window and see it. But he was right. He trusted the observation more, or his mathematical models more than thinking. If we have this understanding that we usually in all other areas of life trust the observation when it is colliding on collision with the thinking, why should we trust the thinking more now when it comes to see what is true about our life? This existential, very basic question about our life. I cannot force you. Everyone has his own, so to speak, view on this, of course. If you want to continue to believe that I have to fix my life and I'm not good enough, and you can continue that. But you know that kind of life, right? Don't you? When we believe this me, as I have to, I am must, and I'm not good enough. You have to improve. This song is not good. This moment is not complete. We know that kind of life. This is why we come into these kind of meetings. You feel something is wrong. Something is wrong here. So what about the other side then? When we're not thinking, but actually observing in the state of pure being. Is that better? Oh, yes, it is. Here is peace. There's no idea I have to. There's no negative beliefs about myself. The present moment doesn't need to be improved. And the future, well, we don't have any idea about it, good or bad. Some state of isness. Totally content. It's not that we are going away from reality when we go to meditation. We are coming to reality. We are running to reality when we meditate in this way. We're seeing how it is, how life is experienced when we don't believe the thinking about this responsible me in the story. That is, of course, the bottom line here. If you trust the observation more than thinking, you just had to realize that, okay, I thought I was a responsible person in the story that has to fix life and not know where to start. But actually, I'm totally free, so to speak, me, living in a state of total freedom, just being, so to speak, witnessing what is going on in the personal story, so to speak. It's not really true, but we can go into that in other kinds of meetings. But just to trust what you actually Experience. Trust what you actually see when you observe, when you investigate, and not believe in the thinking that was planted in us by generations of people based on ignorance. So, is there anyone who wants to comment on this? Protests? Discussions?
It's Kathy.
Yeah, hello, Kathy.
Um, Even in that place where I can see there's no me, there's still a lot of, pain and discomfort in the body, which there's still a wish that that would change, that would stop, So what do I do with that?
The pain in the body depends on what it comes from. If the pain in the body has to do with some kind of medical state, some kind of physical state, physical health, that may continue. It has to do with fixing the body, so to speak, on the physical level. If the pain and the uncomfortableness and the tension in the body, if that is depending or coming from, triggered by the belief that I have to fix my life, I'm responsible, they will go down. And even if they don't go down directly, it can do when if there's a shift and seeing, oh, but I thought I was responsible me in the story. I see now that I am not. It can go down directly. It can just vanish. But it can also take some time, depending on how strong this idea is. Strong idea about I have to, and that there's something wrong with me. But at least as a start, seeing how it really is. We can't find this personal doer when we look. And we have been doing that also in individual sessions and in group session also. We can't find that one. We believe that, we understand that it's just a thought. But just to see it now in the pure state of being once is usually not enough. It can be a shift. It can also be that we need to do it more times. So the suggestion is, as a tool, if you have ability to connect to this state of just being here, to the silence inside, if you have this ability in daily activity, just to ask yourself the question, for instance, am I here? Am I here? And if the attention spontaneously go to that place of just existing, and then ask the question, do I find any doer me, decider me, controller me, experiencer me, and so on here in this place? This is a tool we can do because the me is so extremely integrated in our life. We don't even see it. Every moment is filled with this belief in it's a filter in front of everything. It can take some time to dismantle that power because we are living in a trap. We live in a jail of me belief as responsible me, and that is to fix life. It makes our life uncomfortable, even horrible. So if you would like to use this, every time you see that the me is grabbing attention, you just let the attention go. Am I here? And if the tension is going there spontaneously, then you just look. Can I see this me? If you have the idea of and feelings, a lot of feelings, of course, something wrong with me, for example. If we have this and we have the feeling something wrong with me, then we can go to this place and see, can I find anyone which is nothing wrong, if something wrong with in this place? So what we do is to let the pure state of being arise, becoming more energy in it. And the idea of a responsible me is going down. So the first in this, usually the idea of responsible me is very strong in people. Very strong, extremely strong. That's why they're struggling and suffering, worry, regrets, questioning everything, protesting, because his idea is so strong. And the silence, the pure silence, is not even there, maybe because they don't meditate or whatever method you can use to get to that state. But when the silence is becoming more and more in daily activity, they're becoming more and more balanced. The silence will go up, the pure state of being goes up, and the power of the thought, it doesn't go away, but the power of the thought is going down. And eventually doesn't have any power to rise. Can still be there in the system, but it doesn't have any energy to rise. And then we see how it is permanently, not only as glimpses. I don't know if that is an answer to your question, Kathy. Patience and using it every time in this situation is not an exercise. You can't do it as an exercise. It is when the me is grabbing attention, becomes uncomfortable in daily life, then we use it, because then it has charge, then it has power. It's like taking antibiotics. I'm not having any flu, but I can take it now because maybe I will have a flu later, in 3 months or something. Totally waste. So we do it in this situation. Go to that place. Can I find this me who is not good enough here? Because I feel I'm not good enough in this situation when someone told me something. If it is possible, it's the quickest way to go directly to the truth and seeing, can I see this person who's not good enough in this silence? And of course, we have to realize we have to look actively. It's not a memory here. It's important to understand this, that it's not about leading to a memory. It's not about leading to book knowledge. What I say, what other people have said, is about or the memory from last time. It's about looking in the moment, looking. Can I find any me who is something wrong with, for instance? You look actively in that place, actively looking. It's not a theory here. It's an observation in the moment. No, I can't find anyone here. What is something wrong with? That's all. That is the end of your job. That's all. Nothing else. And the life, so to speak, or the truth, or whatever you want to call it, it takes care of the rest. And with time, if it doesn't go away, if the bodily sensations in this case, if it doesn't go away directly, so my experience, our experience, that it goes down, can go down gradually. The guard goes down because a lot about being cautious, being on the, so to speak, always defending situation, defending position in the system. Is there any danger here now? How is it now? Everyone is different here, of course. It can be a gradual process. It can be a sudden shift. want to comment more on this, Kathy?
Um, yeah, it's just hard to accept that there's not something wrong with life if, if the body's in a state where there's no solution.
Mm.
Um,
But can you be
it's just
open?
hard.
Yeah, I understand. Of course, of course. But can you be open for the idea that maybe the body is in this state because there is a belief that there's something wrong? It's actually the other way around. What is an egg and what is a hen, so to speak? Well, what is the start here? Because we know that the thinking mind has an extraordinary power over our body. If we think we are sick because the doctors told us you're having this sickness, you will begin to feel sick. And then they find out, no, sorry, we switched this measurement here on the blood. So it was somebody else actually. You're not sick at all. Oh, you suddenly feel good. Happens all the time, right? That is a tricky thing with the thinking mind because it can also be used in meditations. If we have some kind of meditation, we want to have some peace, we want to have some bliss and love. It can come produced by the thinking mind because we want to have that state, but it's not real. That's why we recommend the non-doing meditation, because then we know that there's no one here trying to produce that state. Leave it to life itself, to the truth itself. That just by let the moment be as it is, not being interested in something specific and doing nothing, then we know that what is coming then is spontaneously, at least more chance that it will be real, more authentic. The thinking mind has an extraordinary power to produce all kinds of fantastic states, but it's nothing real. And we feel it is dull, it's flat, it's not alive. It's easier actually to see where it's coming from, to be a little bit sensitive. Can you be open, Cassie, for that? Maybe it's the other way around, But the idea in itself has an extraordinary power over the feelings in the body. We see each other soon, right? Yeah. Something else? Someone else have any question?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Fritz.
Yeah, I know. I know. I just tried to find you here in the group. Yeah, there you are.
I'm hiding, yes.
Oh,
So,
congratulations. I heard some news you are coming to Turkey for a course, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
to
That is
finish it
true.
all off. Thank you.
That's the
See,
hope. Yep.
yeah, see you there then. Okay, to your question.
So, more of a report, but it relates to what you were just speaking of. So, I have a friend, was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, right? She had pain in the body, a lot of that, but they couldn't pin down why. So she was on the path. That's how I know her. And a point was reached where oneness happened, where oneness was seen. And somebody's talking. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Can we switch off the microphone only for people who is talking?
So anyway, this oneness happened, and the fibromyalgia went.
Okay.
As long as she was in this, so the state of the sense of oneness, the state of oneness had a duration of about 3 months. And during that time, the fibromyalgia was not there.
Mm-hmm.
And as the ego started to come back, which it did partially, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
the fibromyalgia came back.
Mm-hmm.
So this sort of speaks to what you were talking about. Um, and it's an observed phenomenon, let's say, that I've seen.
Yeah. Uh, I don't want to go into discussion about what is. Um, this is a long discussion of what is the impact on the body by the thinking and the psychology and so on. So maybe we don't have to go into that one because there's a lot of theory there. But it's a very good example that we can say. It's also a question to Kathy actually, and to other ones. If everything is one, what's the problem? How can there be any problems if everything's one? I'm not talking about theory, of course. If everything is seen, if everything is realized, and all is one, not things being one, but there are no things. All is one. How can there be any problem? The ego, as you mentioned, the ego is separation. The ego means not oneness. That is ignorance. That we are living in duality. We are not. We're not. We are using we had to be able to talk about it. Language is tricky here. If everything is one, there are no problems. And if the sickness, in your example, if the sickness was so to speak, triggered, caused, or triggered by the idea of being isolated, being separated, being alone, can be extremely strong feelings, and of course can have an impact on the body as well. It's a little bit logical, actually. But at the same time, there is no guarantee that because we come into the one state that all sicknesses will go away. It doesn't seem to be so easy just to say that. But it can be that if the sickness in itself is triggered or caused by the belief of separation, which is so strong in that person that it's, so to speak, more or less constant experience through daily life. People are very different here. Some people don't understand what we talk about being isolated or separated. And some people feel it very strongly. I feel separated all the time, they can say. I'm not here. I'm somewhere else. I feel alone. I suffer. There's no one here. It's only me who is just here, alone. And if that is very strong as a feeling, and of course also as an idea, that can have its impact on the body. Because we know how the thinking mind has an extremely power to also impact on the body. It's very good example, Fritz. Thank you very much. Good. Anyone else who wants to say something about this or something else? So tomorrow and Friday, we will continue our meetings, but without no talking. There will be no recording and no questions and answer tomorrow, Thursday, and on Friday. And we meet 10:30 Indian time. As you know, you have to look at the schedule that you have got on the WhatsApp group. You can see the times there. And then we just focus on individual, on guided non-doing meditation, combination with the Enlightenment Activation. And maybe, let me look at the schedule tomorrow. Oh, I have people coming afterwards, so we cannot have more than half an hour. But that's okay. So thank you very much for today. And Galia, if you will be here, I will give you an activation because you were not here before. So you can just stay here, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was 9:30, so I got it wrong.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I can give you afterwards here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.